Watching Connacht attack this season has been a fascinating experience, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the qualities Pat Lam's men bring into Saturday's Guinness Pro12 final against Leinster at Murrayfield. We've examined the impact Bundy Aki offers Connacht before, but it's important to note again just how powerful a gain line merchant he is on first phase possession. We see as much here early on against Glasgow, an incident which unfortunately ended Xander Fagerson and Finn Russell's games. Now Leinster's tail gunner at the back of the line out is going to be key. Simone Favaro fills the position here for Glasgow in this instance, and his job is usually to protect the exact space that Aki runs into. Connacht, typically enough, have done their homework on Favaro. They're brilliant at analysis and they pick out the flaw here. They know he likes to hammer up and smash people, so first attack of the day, Connacht target that inclination. His only intention, as we see here, is to absolutely level Kieran Marmion and lay down a physical marker. Instead, he invites Aki to do the exact same. We can see that Fagerson is actually stretching to cover cross now in behind Favaro, and Russell is coming in from the outside. Aki, as is so often the case, manages to plough over the gain line and get Connacht moving forward. Leinster know exactly how powerful a carrier is coming their way. Connacht are never predictable in attack off set piece, however, and they don't just use Aki to truck the ball up. Instead, they actually use his power to draw in defenders before releasing others in space, as we see here. Glasgow have already had to tackle Aki a number of times by now, and they're expecting him to crash the ball up. He's marked here in midfield off Marmion's pass, but really, Connacht have just laid the bait in the opening 20 minutes, and now they're ready to strike with something different. Duncan Weir here and Peter Horne are going to be attracted towards Aki as Marmion picks him out, but it's actually Aj McGinty inside him just here who's going to make the half break for Connacht. Aki slips him away with a lovely subtle inside pass, and the USA out half offloads to Jake Keenan, whose pass is actually picked off by Glasgow, but Connacht are able to drive Tommy Seymour into touch, and they end up scoring 3 points after the line out. We get a better sense of what's happening defensively when we watch the play unfold from behind. Favaro, marked here, is breaking from the scrum, and he's responsible for covering Marmion as he bounces away from the set piece. Outside Favaro, Weir is already lining up Aki, and that means there's already a nice gap to the left of Favaro for McGinty to target here, while Tiernan O'Halloran is arcing around to Connacht's right, and Kieran Marmion is also going to run a loop line around Aki. As we role play on, we can see that Weir is utterly focused on Aki. He just wants to stop the Kiwi as soon as possible here, while Horne to his left is also initially drawn in towards Aki. Favaro, who should really be sprinting hard to close up Weir's inside shoulder, also seems to presume that Aki is going to carry, and it leaves him with this nice bit of space to make up on McGinty. McGinty holds his depth really well here to ensure he's open for Aki to hit with that pass. Now as Aki releases the ball, we should note that Horne has actually slipped up outside him just to shut down Marmion's looping option. It's a good read here in behind Aki, but McGinty is already gone on the inside. Favaro's playing catch up here, but he manages to get a desperate scrag tackle in on McGinty. Nonetheless, this attack demonstrates the thinking behind Connacht's attack and also points to a backroom staff having done their analysis. As ever, Connacht were well prepared for the defence. We should note that Connacht ran a variation on this play only 7 minutes later against Glasgow, but this time they were unsuccessful. Even without success, it shows that this is a team thinking their way through games. The setup's the same again, Aki here off Marmion's pass with McGinty just inside him here. Now, as we look at the defence running the play on, it appears an issue that Weir is going to bite down on Aki, and certainly he does so, and it looks like Horne is going to do the same. But he makes a really good read again, and he picks up Marmion running that loop line. As we run the play on a little bit more, it actually looks like the McGinty option is on for Connacht, but perhaps they're just a little bit too smart for their own good. They believe Glasgow are going to do everything in their power to shut down that hole, and therefore leave Marmion with a bit of space. But instead, Horne makes that good read again, and he gets up beyond Aki to hit Marmion, ball and all, and force the turnover. Connacht's 2-4-2 shape and phase play is something we've studied in a bit of detail before, but it's certainly going to be highly visible again in Saturday's final. In this example, we can see Eoin McKeown here, and then Ultan Delan, who's going to arrive in just here. They're the two forwards in the right-hand 15-metre channel, and they resource the ruck in that area. As Marmion moves the ball back to the left, we can see that group of 4 forwards in the middle of the pitch. Ali Muldowney plus Tom McCartney plus Finlay Bealham plus Ronan Loughney. In behind those 4, Aki is providing the backdoor option for the second wave attack just here, while McGinty provides the link between the ruck and the forwards in midfield. Muldowney actually has a range of options here really. He can go out the backdoor to Aki, or he can carry himself, but with Glasgow rushing up hard in midfield here, he opts for that tip-on pass to McCartney. Muldowney might have actually added a bit of go forward to the ball before passing here, but as it happens, the ruck is well resourced again, and Marmion can move the ball away swiftly to the left. Having not been involved in that ruck, Loughney is still available here, and he runs a screen ahead of the pass to McGinty, who finds Aki in behind. Now in the left-hand 15-metre channel, we're going to see that final pair of forwards helping to provide width. John Muldoon there and Heenan wide on the left. They're always on the lookout for mismatches against smaller backs, and they're always looking to stretch that Glasgow defence. Glasgow do infringe here at this third ruck, and even though they don't go forward, Connacht's 2-4-2 shape ensures Glasgow are genuinely stretched throughout. There are a few teams in the Pro12 who identify and then go to space as well as Connacht do. We get a good example here for their disallowed try in the first half against Glasgow, which begins with Aki knocking on as he scoops up the loose ball. That's not initially picked up on, and Aki is well supported by Delan before Connacht recycle. Immediately they're looking to get width. Aki plays scrum half and he finds Ali Muldowney here at first receiver. He's going to simply catch and pass to find McCartney here, who throws this long looping pass, but he just wants to get that width. He finds Beelum next in the chain, and again we get a catch and pass from a type 5 forward who understands where the opportunity is. O'Halloran burns his man and then draws in the final defender before hitting McKeown on the right touchline to cross for a lovely disallowed try. When we switch to play to watch from behind again, we can see exactly what Connacht have spotted. As Beelum gathers the ball here, we can see that O'Halloran is screaming for the pass. He's just saying, hit me early, hit me now, give me that ball. Why is he so eager? Well, in front of himself, O'Halloran has identified two front row forwards wide in the Glasgow defence, a hooker and a prop here. It's really dreamland for a fullback like O'Halloran, and he's going to skip through that space between those stranded front row forwards. It's an ideal scenario for someone like O'Halloran. As O'Halloran goes through that hole, we're going to again see that Connacht have got a forward in that wide channel to provide another element of width. It's McKeown on the touchline, and he gets a reward from O'Halloran for providing that width, in this case, only for that reward to be taken away. Perhaps the best illustration of Connacht exploiting space well in this game was the wonderful try scored by Ní Adeolokun, set up by a delightful grubber kick from Aki. Loughney is a scrum half this time. There's a lovely delicate touch with the boot from Aki, and it's finished really strongly by the massively in-form Adeolokun. What we're really interested in is that exploitation of space. We come back to the moment when the ball's in Aki's hands to get a sense of what's in front of him. There are three viable Glasgow defenders in the front line in front of Aki here, with Stuart Hogg covering the kick deep behind, and Hogg might actually wonder if he should have pushed up a little earlier in this instance. Outside Aki here are McKeown, Muldoon and Adeolokun. So that's a 4-on-3 in the front line for Connacht. They do have an overlap, and the majority of players would actually pass the ball here probably. We can see that Muldoon, as we role play on, just here, he wants that pass over the top as he signals for the ball, and Aki could potentially loop one over the top for Muldoon, or even Adeolokun out on the touchline. However, that kind of pass looping over the top would most likely allow Glasgow's drift defence to catch the Connacht player in the 15-metre channel, even if they did make up some good yardage before being tackled. Instead, Aki identifies this area of space in behind the three Glasgow defenders and in front of Hogg, and he slips a perfectly weighted grubber in for Adeolokun to chase. It's superb execution of an underrated skill. Adeolokun gathers the ball at pace and he's able to surge through Hogg. He gets a little bit fortunate with Weir and Pyrgos colliding in their scrambling tackle efforts, but it's excellent balance and power from Adeolokun. The final example of Connacht exploring space we're going to look at is another disallowed try. This time the misfortune comes on account of McGinty kicking the ball against an accidentally offside Aki after the centre's big hit forces the ball loose. Sean O'Brien completes the turnover and instantly the mindset switches. Connacht are thinking try. The ball moves through the hands beautifully and Adeolokun comes up with a gorgeous finish in the right hand corner. It's Aki who kickstarts that transition into attack again with his powerful tackle on Weir before we see the little kick from McGinty against Aki. And we see O'Brien clamping down on the ball to ensure the changeover of possession for Connacht. As Aki's attempting to get the ball again, we're going to keep an eye on Jake Heenan here. He's having a scan of the pitch. He actually looks out to his right. He's trying to identify where the space is, and now he knows that Connacht need to move that ball wide to the right. Just inside him, McGinty does the same. That little glance out. Connacht's always looking for that space. Aki skips McGinty to find Heenan, and there's a really unfussy catch and pass again from a Connacht forward. He could have been tempted to carry. The tip on from Henshaw is superb, and lovely handling from O'Halloran as well. Adeolokun does really well here. He could be tempted just to streak straight for that corner there again and be knocked into touch, but he arcs back in so that when the contact does come, he's still able to dot down. It's seriously intelligent work. Connacht face their toughest test yet in the Pro12 final, but if they can spark an attack once again, they have every chance of giving this fairy tale a happy ending. Their clever set-piece plays, 2-4-2 shape and face play, and their razor-sharp exploitation of space means Pat Lam's men will be backing themselves to pull off yet another upset.